I feel so many mixed emotions right now. I don't think I've been this, just like a little scatterbrain, a little twitchy. Got some crackhead vibes because of this event, just a couple. And yeah, the Apple 14th event for September, the iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch event. It's out, it's done. We got iPhone 13, Apple Watch Series 7. We got the new iPad mini, which is nuts. So much to talk about today. If you guys are excited, let's just go ahead and jump into the video because we just got so much to talk about. So what are you waiting for? If you're excited for today's video, drop a like down below. It seriously helps me and the channel out. And click that subscribe button and turn on the bell for notifications so that you never miss a beat. All right, so normally I go in order of what Apple announced, but I want to rank least to most exciting this year because we got 5 new products, and that would bring us first to the brand new iPad 9. This is Apple's base iPad. They always recycle a design. They put an older processor in here, and well, we've seen the exact same thing again this year. There's an A13 chip inside now. We had an A12 before, and a True Tone display, so the content will now adjust the color accuracy if you're outside or inside a lot better. It's actually one of those things that you don't notice after you set it up, but it is genuinely awesome. So very happy to see that. Same like 10-hour battery life as always, same LTE connectivity if you go cellular. But the big upgrade this year, well, 2 main takeaways for me is number 1, there's a center stage camera. So when you're FaceTiming somebody now, the camera dynamically, because it's ultra wide, can move around the room. And they first introduced this on the iPad Pro, and they're now putting this across a lot of their products, pretty much all of their iPads, and it's actually pretty phenomenal. It makes group video calls infinitely better. I've been using it for a while on the iPad Pro, and it's really good. I mean, you can get up and walk around your kitchen and be in frame for most of your kitchen, unless you're just, I don't know, super rich that your kitchen does like a 360. My kitchen's pretty average, so I use this and I really like it. But even more of a nice upgrade than this is more storage. Previously, this iPad started at 32 gigs, but it's now 64 gigabytes of base storage, and this is available for order today, right now on Apple's website. So you can order this and it ships next week, Apple says. So you can get this $329 A13 iPad right now. Minor upgrades, still supports the 1st gen Apple Pencil. I really think we should see 2nd gen support at this point, but we still haven't. It's the cheapest iPad. I wasn't expecting much. Next up at spot number 4, I do have to throw the Apple Watch Series 7 here because not only was it a completely different announcement than what we were expecting, the upgrades, honestly guys, I didn't think they could get smaller, and they somehow have. Essentially everything new this year is a commodity, and there is no major feature. Like even last year we got blood oxygen, which sounded major, and this year it looks a little bit different, like a little bit. We thought it was going to be rounded rectangle like the iPhone. No, it's the same rounded design that we've had, but with a larger display due to thinner bezels. And while the new design is absolutely stunning, like I think it looks phenomenal, it's by far one of the, I think, the most beautiful smartwatch you can get. The 40% thinner bezels are just that, and the screen will be a little bit brighter. Apple says up to 70% when your wrist is down, but like again, functionality wise, there's not a ton here. Apple says there's some new UI that you can get on the Apple Watch. It's optimized for the bigger screen, and I can't believe that I'm saying this, but I think the thing I'm going to use the most is the new keyboard that they've introduced. Guys, there is a full-size keyboard on the Apple Watch Series 7 exclusively because of the larger screen. Okay. All right, there are some fresh colors here as well, like a light blue watch that matches the new 13 Pro, and I believe the standard 13 as well. Apple says there's 33% faster charging with a new USB-C charge cable, and going along with the improved UIs because of the larger screen, there are some fresh watch faces as well, but they look kind of cool. All right, but the battery life is the same. Again, the battery life is the same for still is the be it. You can tell I'm having an aneurysm because the battery life hasn't gotten better since 2015. Dad, Tim, I love you, but you gotta give me more battery life. Like, I still have to charge my watch every night, and you can't even improve the battery life this year. It's a little frustrating, to be honest. And, you know, that's the Series 7. Ships with watchOS 8, has some cycling improvements, which sound great because I actually cycle 3 to 4 times a week. I'm always on my bike. I got a new little gravel bike. I've been flying around out where I live. So I am excited for it. I am going to get this still. That being said, I I just feel like they're running out of ideas. That's my hot take. That's my fresh take. And yeah, I'm kind of seeing through all the hype this year. Moving on to the iPhones now. At number 3, we have the iPhone 13. And this is kind of all over the place. A bigger upgrade in some areas and a smaller upgrade in others. Let's start off with the new design. It's got these flip-flop cameras that do look weird. And I'm pretty sure they just did this to make the phones look a little bit different. So a subtle flex for sure. But at the same time, I think it'll grow on me. I think it will grow on me. There's 5 new colors, including this new blue option and a subtle pink, but it's not the bright pink. I would have gotten the bright pink iPhone. I think that actually would have been pretty sick, but it's a super subtle, scared to dip your fingies in the paint pink. I mean, it's the color of my skin. Sometimes you just want something a little bit more flashy than a little white fish stick like me. Finally, on the front, there's a smaller notch. It's 20% smaller with a revamped True Depth camera system. Still just as secure as always. Face ID only, but I think it looks really, really good. And this is visually going to be a lot nicer when you hold it. The screen is also getting 28% brighter on the iPhone 13s, up to 800 nits now. So that's going to be pretty nice when you're outdoors. I believe the Pros were limited to that last year. So a nice bump up from Apple. And then you've got these huge battery improvements. Apple says you're going to get 1.5 extra hours of battery life on the 13 mini over the 12 mini and 2.5 hours additional on the, that's nuts. Just let's be clear. 2.5 hours on the iPhone 13 over the iPhone 12. I literally put in my article, wow, on appletrack.com, my site, because I mean it. Wow, that's nuts. I guess this A15 with a 6-core CPU and I believe a 4-core GPU is just bonkers. It's got 4 efficiency cores and 2 high performance cores. So I guess it's just popping off this year. It's absolutely nuts. But by far, the thing that impressed me the most is actually the cameras. And as much as I was making fun of them for being a bit of an eyesore at first, it makes sense because it's a bit larger sensors, the largest sensor ever in an iPhone. This also includes sensor shift stabilization, so when you're moving and recording video or taking photos, it's gonna look really, really great. It's actually what they had on the 12 Pro Max last year. It's phenomenal. There's also better and faster taking night mode photos. The ultra wide camera, which has by far been the weakest camera on the iPhone since it came out. They've finally fixed it with better low light, improved aperture, I believe, and much better quality photos. It's not going to be as grainy so quickly. Finally, for the iPhone 13, there are some updated 5G antennas. I believe millimeter wave support will support more areas than ever before, rather than being pretty much a US exclusive. And the pricing, guys, you ready? $699 and $799 for the 13 mini and the 13 respectively, which is the same pricing as last year. And on top of that, Apple's actually throwing in a treat here. So for the same price as last year, you're now getting double the base storage. So your iPhone is going to start at 128 gigs now, which is also what the Pros start at. So for $700, you can get a 13 mini with the fastest 5G, insane battery life, all of these improvements, the new cameras, and double the storage as last year. This is actually a super compelling value proposition, and I think the value on these standard 13s is just off the charts. Now, these, along with the 13 Pros, you're like, when are they actually coming out? Release date, Friday, September 24th. Pre-order them this Friday. You'll probably want to pre-order just to be safe. I'll be making a video showing you guys what I decide to pre-order and what I don't decide to pre-order this year. So yes, this Friday pre-order, Friday, September 24th. Take off work, get out of school, fake an illness to get your hands on this iPhone. All right, it's going to be pretty dope. But of course, not to be outdone by the 13 is the iPhone 13 Pro, which is, it has all the improvements of the 13, but obviously being the Pro, it has a stainless steel, more premium design, and it's got a third camera, and it's got a new color here. It's got Sierra Blue, which looks like a more subtle Pacific Blue, which they had on the 12 Pros. It was my favorite color ever, and this looks pretty good. I think I'll go with it, but I was definitely hoping for, again, like a pink 13 Pro or maybe like a sunset gold, as was rumored. That's not why you want to upgrade to the Pros, though. You'll want to upgrade this year because of the 120 hertz displays. Guys, this is the biggest display jump on an iPhone in history, and really the only hertz jump ever. Right now, your iPhone screen can refresh up to 60 times in a second. now it can do 120. So it is going to be in par with like the Samsung Galaxy S20 series, the newest One Pluses. There's other small things we'll talk about for the pros, but I'm telling you, this is why you'll want to upgrade. This is the biggest difference without question between the 13 and the 13 Pro. It's ProMotion and it's an LTPO display, meaning it can variable refresh rate, so your impact to battery life is going to be minimal. It's a really smart technology Apple's put on here. Inside, you've got the same A15 chip, but Apple notes that there's a 5-core GPU here. And based on what I'm reading, let me just fact check myself real quick as I'm making this video. It looks to me like there's an extra CPU core in the Pros. Now I'm going to make a full video comparing the 13 and the 13 Pro, but another tidbit, you're getting an extra GPU core on the Pros. This is the first time we've ever seen a processor difference between the two. Very, very fascinating. Now, there's these crazy camera features on all the 13s like rack focus in this mode called cinematic video, but the Pros get an upgraded telephoto lens that has a 3x optical zoom, so the best, longest lens ever on here. It's going to let you get closer to your subjects without moving than ever before. You've also got new photographic styles. You can shoot native ProRes video, the most high quality cinema level on your iPhone. It's going to be essentially the raw version of video, but on your iPhone with Dolby Vision and HDR. I mean, it's going to be nuts. And then macro photography, I believe, is a Pro exclusive. You'll be able to get up to 2 centimeters to your subject and snap a photo. So that's really cool. All right. The Pros, obviously the best cameras. It's 120 hertz and the cameras. Big story. $999 for the 13 Pro. $1,099 for the 13 Pro Max. Start at 128 gigabytes, but they go up to a whole terabyte now. So great. Does anybody need that? No, I don't think so. Do you need it? Probably not. Gonna buy it? Maybe. I'm not gonna buy it. Maybe you will. Again, you can pre-order these this Friday and they ship on the 24th. But guys, there is one more thing that Apple announced. It was actually the second thing in the sequential order that they introduced, which is just absolutely nutty. It's the new iPad mini, and it is unlike anything we've ever seen for the iPad mini before. I put this at my #1 spot for most exciting because this is the iPad Air, but in a new, smaller form factor with an 8.3-inch all-screen design, and you've got these new colors, purple, pink, starlight, and space gray. Man, this is a good looking tablet. Let's just talk about Touch ID being embedded in the power button. Obviously, to cut down on costs here, Apple is using Touch ID instead of Face ID in the power button. Again, you've got a faster chip in here again. Actually, what chip is in here? Because Apple didn't say it at the event, and I found that really interesting. The chip inside of here is the A15. Okay. So it's got the exact same chip as the iPhone 13 Pro in here. That is kind of nuts. So that's really crazy, actually. You've got USB-C. Oh, baby, let's go. We got USB-C. So we've got USB-C, of course, not on the iPhones, but on yet another Apple product. Hooray. And these new cameras. 12 megapixel rear camera. You've got the front facing with center stage, just like the other iPad. So FaceTime going to be out of this world, consistent, and you won't have to move your iPad constantly. You've got these brand new stereo speakers on here that Apple seems to suggest will sound pretty nutty. And you've got support for the new Apple Pencil. So the only iPad that works with the Apple Pencil 1 now is the iPad 9 that I showed you guys at the beginning of this video. This uses the 2nd generation Apple Pencil. And man, that's good. Still no new Apple Pencil, but it's full size. So you just put it on the side of your iPad just like that. So that's the iPad mini, available right now on Apple's website. You can order it right now, ships next week. That is the Apple event. The iPad mini by far stole the show for me. I think the 13s are solid upgrades, and I question the future of the Apple Watch. There's just no competition, and it really is starting to show. More coverage coming later today on the iPhone 13s. Get excited. Hope you guys doing well. I got to go edit this because I got a lot. It's busy. Daddy's working today. Hope you guys doing well. Have a good one. Peace.